If you've played Roblox for a long enough time, chances are that one of your favorite old games have been broken by one of Roblox's new updates. And it's sad to see so many classic games in this state, like Find Kevin the Minion. I'm not sure what's broken in this game, but I remember it being a lot less shit when I played it. Sorry, Skull Not Pro. But some developers aren't just gonna stand there and let Roblox defile the grave of our childhood. Old developers have come back to fix their games, and some games were fixed by completely different developers who miss playing them. But other developers want to go above and beyond, and they don't just want to fix an old game they love, but retell it, modernize it, and remake it. It's interesting to have played Roblox for so long that people are remaking games that I used to play as a kid. Before I get into all of that though, first let me add a disclaimer. I'm not going to be talking about recoded games. Since these exist to fix old games and do not change anything about their core, most remakes aim to modernize these games for a newer audience, which is different than recoding them. You know, even though to remake a game, you technically need to recode it. You know what, ignore what I just said. With that distinction out of the way, let's go and get into some remakes of classic Roblox games.
Oh, hang on, there's a guy tunneling the other way. Pretty cramped, huh?
Oh, you said it. Next time I pay for business class.
Right? That guy was in the paper for hitting his wife.
The original Underground War by Stickmaster Luke was a game I never remembered being the most popular, but it always had people playing. The game would still probably be very active today if it wasn't broken. But since then, the game has been remade into the Underground War 2. In the original Underground War, you play on one of two teams, with the objective of digging a tunnel to the other team's base and taking their flag. You have a sword, which also works as your shovel, and a sniper rifle to do this. The Underground War was a simple game, but it was still very fun, though the game definitely had a lot of room for new ideas and improvement. So, what was added in the Underground War 2? Huh. I mean, this feels like the Underground War, but there's nothing new. I guess there's this giant eyesore UI. You know what? This is a sidetrack, but I gotta say it. Modern Roblox games need to quit adding ugly eyesore UIs to your games that cover the entire screen and only exist to spam microtransactions. And I know, old Roblox games also had ugly UIs, but at least it wasn't assaulting me with ads. You also have this rocket launcher on the side of your screen that you know you can't use unless you buy it. Thanks for having it always be there, by the way. It definitely isn't just a big distraction. I'm struggling with this game because it's fun, because the Underground War is fun, but nothing's new. It's hard to even call this a remake since it's so similar to the original game. The only new changes are annoying shit that you see from modern Roblox games. I guess there's a leveling system and an upgrade system, but those are fucking boring, so who cares? Oh yeah, and you know, there's also a nuke, you know, like in Call of Duty.
Fuck.
You have to pay for these swords? Do they do anything different? These people paid 99 Robux for on their team, yeah.
This ain't it. This game has 2 in the name, but it's practically the exact same. This game is modern in the worst way possible. Luckily, our next example totally fucks this game's wife and does what it wants to do, but better. Zeppelin Wars is a remake of Zeppelin Battle by My Recur Warrior, and this remake is very similar to the original game. I think. I never actually played Zeppelin Battle as a kid. I was more of a Darkness 2 type of guy. Anyways, Zeppelin Wars is a remake that doesn't change too much to the core gameplay, but it adds way more replayability with a progression system that isn't predatory. In Zeppelin Wars, you're either on the pirate or the air patrol team, tasked with destroying the other team's Zeppelin. You have bombs, cannons, and planes that you can use to help achieve this. This game has 2 classes, pilots, which can fly planes and have explosives, and engineers, who can't fly but can repair the ship. To put simply, you have your offensive and defensive classes. Sounds simple, right? Well, in the original game, this was it. Well, the remake adds this leveling system, and instead of doing something boring like leveling up your stats, you get new weapons that changes the way you play. This is a great example of building on a new format, but editing it just enough to make it more enjoyable. The game still plays the same at its core, but now you have even more to do. It's fun to play the different classes and try out new weapons. This is what I expect from a remake. Along with the weapons, this game also has different modes, which adds even more replay value. I believe Zeppelin Wars is a great remake, and I like the direction the developer went in. I'll put this game into the France tier, since the place is great but the people are trash. Despite this game's success, this isn't the only successful way to remake a game.
Yo guys, it's Hilo. Jim said no rescripts in this video, but luckily for you, I don't abide by such a rule. Build to Survive the Draco Bloxers rescripted. It's exactly what you'd expect. Survive the Draco Bloxers, but rescripted. You see, the true beauty of this game is everything you can do. This game truly is a blank canvas for your imagination. You could build a wall. You can even build underground. You can also build a pyramid.
We're just a bunch of bros hanging out and building this spaceship to my exact specifications.
And that's the beauty of this game. And let me tell you, it's truly something beautiful. You can do whatever you want as long as it will save you from the dangerous Draco Bloxers. But be careful, the dangerous Draco Bloxers are very smart and will use teamwork to get past you. They'll also use clever tricks to break through your defenses. You'll need to use teamwork to build a base that can survive all the dangerous Draco Bloxers, and once you start to think the game's getting a little boring, boom, the dangerous Draco Bloxers change to an ultra deadly Draco Bloxer. But luckily you don't have to worry. As you survive more rounds, you can get even more tools that'll help you survive the dangerous Draco Bloxers. This includes a parachute and this thing. Hey Changer, what the fuck? But what's that I hear you saying? You think I'm kidding? You think this is a bit? You think I'm joking? Well, Draco Bloxers are 10 times more dangerous than the hacker known as 1x1x1x1. Fact. And I can assure you that I'm telling the truth. Fact. And all I can say is, if you don't believe me, you might be in for a rude awakening. But don't let all that take away from how great this game truly is. Play it. Play it with your friends if you can. I've been Hilo, and I wrote this after 2 buzzballs and a twisted tea. Back to the video.
Survive the End of Roblox is a remake of Survive the End of Classic Roblox by the Amazeman, which if you haven't played looks like this. There were some small changes. The first thing you'll notice is this game takes place in a city instead of a Roblox level trying to look like a city. Despite the improved buildings, the city's layout is actually pretty faithful to the original game. In fact, everything is basically the same. The disasters, the guy talking to you on the radio, some third thing. This game is faithful while improving upon some of the old, outdated features of the original game, which is a tough line to toe. Obviously, Roblox's tools for game creation are way better than they were in 2011. You can go wild and make the disasters more destructive with better coding, and plus since Roblox is less resource intensive, you can now make a game with more than one block and not risk turning your PC into a nuclear warhead.
Yes!
Aside from that, you don't want to change too much about the game fundamentally. It's a balancing act to try to find out what sucks and should be improved on, and what's core to the game. Improving the buildings is a no-brainer, but not every decision's gonna be that easy. Either way, the game's tons of fun, the disasters are challenging to survive, and it's fun to see how much the map gets destroyed. It also doesn't hurt that the game looks and sounds great too. If I was a game reviewer, I'd say that this game has too much water, but other than that, it's good. I like comparing this game with Zeppelin Wars because this game takes the original premise and improves upon it while changing the game pretty radically. This is an interesting contrast to Zeppelin Wars because if you compare it to Zeppelin Battles, they look way more similar than Survive the End of Classic Roblox and Survive the End of Roblox Remake. But our next game is even more unrecognizable from its source material.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No.
Yes, you did.
No, I
You
didn't.
did.
No, I didn't.
You friggin' did.
No.
Yes, you did.
No.
The Undead Coming Armageddon is a remake of The Infection by Jared Valdez 4. Alright, I'm fucking with you. It's actually a remake of The Undead Coming by Stealth Pilot. The Undead Coming Armageddon is very similar to other PvP zombie games, where the survivors need to survive and the zombies need to wipe them out. If you compare the Undead Coming Armageddon to the original Undead Coming, you can tell the original game is extremely bare bones. While the Undead Coming Armageddon is a modern Roblox zombie game, this game doesn't fall into the same traps as all the others before it. And by that, I mean it's fun to play zombie. If you saw my other video about Roblox zombie games, you'll know that I said that most games make the zombies too weak because of the lack of numbers. When there's only 3 or 4 zombies for 10 survivors, it makes it really easy to pick them off quickly. The Undead Coming Armageddon adds AI zombies, who aren't always a direct threat, but they create space and chaos for the player-controlled zombies to get in and deal some damage. The game also adds some special infected to help the zombies break through the survivors' defenses. This includes the bomb zombie who explodes, the crawler zombie who's too quick, the charger who can charge, and the tank who dies 2 seconds within spawning.
Oh yeah, also there's the hazard zombie who exists to be worthless. I forgot to mention him because nobody plays him.
The Undead Coming Armageddon takes the game it's based off of and creates what it should be in the modern era of Roblox. At the core, these are the same games, zombies versus survivors for a set timer. Sorta like how this fully modeled gun is a modern version of this brick that shoots smaller bricks that's allegedly a gun. This also goes for the graphics. This isn't just some nostalgic old Roblox aesthetic, this is what old Roblox should look like nowadays. The developers clearly love the original game, and use it as a base to create something unique, fun, and inspired. This remake is perfect in my opinion, but all these remakes are, except one in this video. I wanted to show multiple games to show that you don't need to remake a game a certain way. All these games remake their source games in a different way, but all share the same goal. They want to take a classic Roblox game we all love and enjoy and update it for a modern audience. In my next video, I'll be optimizing the video making process to capitalize on the zooming receptors of most Roblox players, since we can't keep making 10-minute long videos. Also follow our Twitter.